Hello and welcome to Fiddly Bits. Today we're going to be doing a hookup video for our Arduino and a button and an LED. And this hookup video will allow us to press the button and turn on an LED. In our previous video, we showed you how to wire an LED with a current limiting resistor to pin 13. So we're going to be sort of using that same wiring, but positioning things a little bit differently. And we'll also be showing you how to use a 10K resistor, shown right there, to do what's called a pull down, or it keeps pin 7 in our case at 0 volts, so the LED doesn't light up sporadically. So let's start out by removing all the wires we have hooked up. I'll take the power ones off first, and we'll set them to the side. Take these out, set them to the side. And we'll take all our components out and just lay them here. There we go. And these buttons can be difficult. If you get something that can go in this valley, it helps to remove those. But as you use these buttons, these legs will break off if you're reusing them over and over again. And finally, these two hookup wires. So we'll reuse all of this stuff to do our hookup. Alright, so let's start out with positioning. Now, if you follow the Fritzing diagram, I've lined up the LED on the 20 on column 20 with the cathode side. That's the short wire. So let's put that in at pin 20. I'm going to put it in the middle. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put our current limiting resistor from the same column 20 over to column 15, and that's going to keep too much current from getting to this LED. So the next thing we'll do is we'll connect I'm going to use yellow this time. So I'm going to connect pin 13 to the anode side of the LED. So that's positive voltage going into the anode side, and then negative, then the current will flow through to the cathode, through the resistor, and then down to ground. So let's hook up ground next. So I'm going to do that with a jumper wire. So we'll go to the blue rail. So we'll use the blue rail for ground and the red rail for power. So that's going to go into column 15. So using specific columns can help you later on as you're working to hook them up correctly. It's definitely worthwhile. So now I'm going to do power. I'm going to go to one of the ground hookups and one of the 5-volt hookups, or the 5-volt hookup. And just for my sake, I like to put the red on the one side when I can, and when it completely works, and the just got dark in here, and the ground on the blue line there on the other side. So now we have our LED hooked up. Now we'll put in our button, and we'll start out by, I'm going to start out by putting in the 10K ohm resistor. See if I can get that in. And that's called the pull-up resistor. So I'm going to put that into ground and see if I can get over a 10, row 10 there. Yeah, I can. Okay. So now I'll put the button in right behind it. So one leg of the button, you can see the legs here, right? One leg will be lined up in row 10 or column 10. And you do have to push these kind of hard to get them to go in. Make sure they're sitting in the holes, or you might bend them. And the way these connect, and there's a diagram on my website that you can use, is there's one rail that these are common, and these are common, and when you press the button in the middle, it connects those two sides. So now we'll take the 10K, the side hooked to 10K, and that's going to go to, and we'll use a red wire because we'll indicate that there's current going through here. And we're going to take that to pin 7 on the Arduino. And so what this circuit now does is when pin 7 is, the button's not pressed, it automatically, or it by default connects 10K down to ground. And what that does is that keeps this pin at 0 volts. Otherwise, the Arduino, that pin will fluctuate, and you'll get the LED to turn on sometimes and not turn on other times. Let's see if it turns on for us. It should, we should see it turning on and off a little bit. So maybe we got something not hooked up right. Okay, we got voltage, we got 13. I think we're okay. And so the final thing is to hook up the other side of the button to 5 volts. So when we press 5 volts goes to pin 7. So I'll put this hookup wire into the 5 volt rail, which is connected to here, and pin 7. Now when we press this, we should get a light turn on. Yeah. So that's how you hook up your push button to an Arduino using a 10K pull down resistor, a 220 ohm voltage restricting resistor for the LED, and your LED, and using some common columns on your breadboard. So the next thing we'll do is as a little bonus, I'm gonna show you how you can power this with a battery. Now, also keep in mind that I preloaded the button code for this, so you can get that code from my website, mathcodeprint.com, which Fiddlybits is sister site too, brother site, I don't know. So we're going to unplug this from the Arduino. So now the Arduino has no power. I have a set of batteries here, and what I've done is I've wired header pins directly to the batteries, so you can see so I'll set those to the side here. And on your Arduino, you'll see two things that we need to plug in. We can plug in the ground. We'll just plug that into this ground over here. It doesn't matter which, just has to be ground. So you have ground on both sides. And then we're going to plug this wire into V-in. So V-in will take any voltage, I think up to 20 volts actually. But in this case, we have 6 volts, about 6 volts from the batteries. And so now you can see the Arduino works with just the batteries. So basically, you can make your Arduino circuits portable with just four AA cells. You can also use 9 volts as well. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed, and if you like my channel, make sure you subscribe and click the alarm bell to get notified of future videos. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.